Yes, they are fixing the elections in Texas. But that does not mean that California should fix the elections because of that. Two wrongs don't make a right.
You don't buy what Governor Newsom's saying?
Of course not. Look, I've sat there in Sacramento. I've listened to the politicians for 7 years. They are not interested in giving any power to the people. The only interest that they have is to take power away from the people and grab it themselves. So this gives them a great opportunity by saying, oh, we have to fight.
Arnold Schwarzenegger just dropped a political dumbbell straight on Gavin Newsom's head. And California hasn't seen fireworks like this since the last rolling blackout. The Terminator finally took off the shades, swapped biceps for blunt opinions, and stepped back into the arena swinging harder than ever. What followed wasn't normal politics. It was a cinematic beatdown, part roast, part rebellion, delivered with a protein shake in one hand and that classic Arnold attitude in the other. When the Governator calls you out, it's not a debate. It's Judgment Day, only with better lighting, tighter lines, and more muscle per minute. Arnold didn't hold back. He told Newsom to stop hiding behind buzzwords and start cleaning up the California chaos everyone's tired of living in. The crowd went wild, like they were watching a lost scene from Terminator 2. Because this wasn't just a punchline, it was a reminder that real leadership isn't about catchy slogans. It's about guts, grit, and owning your mess instead of flexing past it.
We worked so hard to get the independent redistricting commission in California, and now all of a sudden they're undoing all of that. I saw on television basketball players getting arrested, coaches, famous coaches getting arrested. So they're getting arrested, and here they're cheating, and they're having a war on cheating here in America with this gerrymandering. So it's really sad. If you want to really fight for democracy, why would you go and destroy the Constitution in California?
California might need a new anthem after this, because Arnold Schwarzenegger just dropped a political remix no one saw coming. The man who once battled killer robots is now taking swings at government red tape, and somehow Gavin Newsom has become the final boss in this unscripted sequel. You know things are out of control when the Terminator looks at his own state and says, "I'll be back," but only after the taxes cool down. Because let's be honest, even a cyborg can't bench press California's inflation rate.
This is what's going to happen. They will find an excuse. So therefore, I don't think it is temporary. So that's total fantasy. So the second thing is that you cannot cheat your way out of it. What they should do is, what the Democrats should do is they should outperform Trump. To me, it's all about competition creates performance. And so what they do is with the redistricting commission is that they're going to go and try to draw the district lines in such a way that they get voted in no matter if they work well or not for the American people. So the American people get cheated on this whole thing. That is really the problem here.
It's almost poetic. The Hollywood action hero turned governor turned global eco-warrior taking aim at a man whose hair looks like it's running its own campaign. You can feel the tension, thick with ego, ambition, and the unmistakable scent of expensive cologne mixed with a cloud of broken promises drifting over California's fading sunshine.
What's your view in terms of what should happen nationwide when it comes to redistricting?
Well, first of all, in California, it's a big mistake to go and to dismantle and to basically kind of get rid of the independent redistricting commission under the auspices of we got to have more power than the Republicans. And we got to fight Trump.
Arnold didn't just call out Gavin. He went full blockbuster mode. You could practically see him lighting a cigar, leaning back, and telling California it needs more muscle and a lot less red tape. The former governor, who once ran the state with charm, grit, and enough protein powder to fuel a small army, stepped back into the spotlight to give the current one a lesson. And believe it, this showdown has more drama than any Hollywood reboot. Because Gavin Newsom isn't just a politician, he's a brand. His hair has more consistency than California's budget. And his speeches sound like TED Talks ghostwritten by a PR intern running on almond milk. Meanwhile, it's Arnold bringing the real heat, calling out the political circus in the same state. He once ran like a no-nonsense gym coach with Governor Powers and that signature, "Don't mess with me" grin.
I got much further when I was governor by working together
with the Democrats by letting them know they're not the enemy, that I am a strong believer that if we want to go and make California successful or America successful, we can do this the best possible way by having Democrats and Republicans work together.
The best part? Arnold probably didn't even mean to cause an aftershock. He drops one casual comment about California's leadership, and suddenly Sacramento is shaking like a 9.0 on the RTOR scale. The man clears his throat and pundits treat it like a prophetic scroll. You could practically see Newsom's eye roll from space. And here's the kicker. The governor who spends half his time assuring everyone that everything's fine just got roasted by the only man alive who can make climate change sound like a summer blockbuster. Hollywood's stunned. The elites are split. No one knows whose side to take. One is all brawn, one is all balance, and both claim they're saving California. The timing couldn't have been more brutal.
Let's go and get rid of our democratic principles. Imagine to fight for democracy and to get rid of your democratic principles. It doesn't make any sense. Nothing against Newsom. We don't have a fight over this at all.
Yeah, because you guys met. What was that like when you guys met together?
It was a wonderful meeting. He told me what he felt. I told him, I said, I totally get it, because this is what you need to do to be the leader of the party. I totally get it, but I'm not a party person, I said. I'm a people's person. I always will fight for the power of the people.
Newsom's been strutting around as the golden boy of progressive politics, flirting with national ambitions and soaking up attention like it's solar-powered. And then suddenly, bam, Arnold drops a verbal dumbbell across his jawline. It's like California's karma just rolled in wearing leather and shades saying, "Remember me?" Arnold's message was classic. "When I ran this place, sure it was chaos, but at least people could afford rent." Now Newsom is probably wishing for an invisibility cloak woven from recycled scandals, because the internet exploded. Twitter, sorry X or whatever Elon calls it, went nuclear. Half the users were flexing with Arnold like it was 2003 again. The other half were defending Newsom like he's the last surviving avocado tree. Memes multiplied faster than rent prices, and somewhere in the chaos, Elon Musk was casually dropping popcorn emojis. Perfectly California.
Lastly, Brad, what's Arnie the Terminator up to in California?
He's upset now about gerrymandering in California and in Texas. There's basically this big back and forth that's going on where in Texas, Republicans are planning on doing mid-decade gerrymandering, which is redrawing the legislative districts to give yourself more seats in Congress by kind of choosing your voters. This is something Democrats have historically been against and wanted to ban, but now they're saying they will do it too in response.
Arnold's critique wasn't just political, it was personal. You could hear it in every word, like a man watching his old house fall apart under sloppy new management. He didn't want to intervene, but even a Terminator can only tolerate so much dysfunction before the programming kicks in. So he spoke, and when he did, California actually paused long enough to listen. Newsom tried to play it cool, smiling, dodging, talking about innovation, but you know that had to sting. Being publicly called out by Arnold Schwarzenegger is not something you brush off. This is the man who once held the same office and made governing look like a cinematic training montage scored by a 90s power ballad. And Arnold doesn't do subtle. He doesn't drop hints, he drops dumbbells. One is built like a tank, the other like a luxury EV. And Californians know exactly which one they trust when the lights flicker.
Arnold is out here criticizing Trump and Gavin Newsom for doing it. I'm not sure he'll be able to actually do anything about it. It's kind of baked into our political system, but things are fine. Things are going amazing here. We're just kind of in a perpetual race to the bottom of who can take the shadiest step next to kind of rig the political system in their favor.
Let's be real. When Arnold calls out Newsom, he's also calling out himself. After all, he helped build this Hollywood-style political circus. He's the founding father of celebrity politics in California. Without him, Newsom might still be practicing his relatable expression in the bathroom mirror. It's a full circle moment. The mentor turned critic. The original showman scolding his successor for forgetting his lines. The irony is thicker than a protein shake at Gold's Gym. The state that turned politics into a Netflix series is now watching its past and present trade blows for the spotlight. It's the Expendables, Sacramento edition. And honestly, what better comeback for Arnold than a perfectly timed jab at California's self-declared king of cool? Meanwhile, Newsom is probably pacing in front of a mirror rehearsing a comeback. But how do you outshine a man who is literally a living meme?
Even Arnold Schwarzenegger is against what Gavin Newsom is doing in California. And that should tell you something. Here's what's going on in California if you don't know. Gavin Newsom is pushing a plan that would weaken the state's independent redistricting commission. The commission was created to make sure that election maps are fair. No political party rigging the lines. But Newsom's proposal could give more control back to the politicians. And that's where Arnold comes in. Remember, Schwarzenegger is a Republican, but he's not necessarily a Trump guy. Yet even Arnold Schwarzenegger says this move by Newsom is wrong.
Arnold's words landed because they came from someone who has actually stepped into the ring. He's wrestled California's chaos firsthand and knows the difference between leading a state and lecturing it. His message cut straight through the noise. Stop overthinking and fix the potholes. Californians don't want glossy speeches about innovation while their cars disappear into craters. They want leadership that works, not leadership that photographs well. That's where Arnold's punch really hit. He wasn't just roasting the politics. He was mocking the performance. Today's leaders pose like influencers and talk like TED speakers, yet still can't stop the grid from collapsing every summer. Arnold, on the other hand, blends muscle and metaphor. When he said, "When I was governor, we lifted California up," you almost believe he meant literally, because even his exaggerations sound more sincere than half the rehearsed lines coming out of Sacramento.
Now, this movie star and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is preparing to battle Governor Newsom over Newsom's redistricting efforts. Ashley, explain to us how Schwarzenegger is planning to fight against Newsom.
He's back. The
He's
former
back.
governor of California, he's back. He has a beef with the current governor, and he says democracy is at stake. Schwarzenegger is angry with Newsom for planning to redistrict California, who are doing that in response to the same effort in Texas.
The media devoured the drama like a Hollywood premiere. Headlines exploded. Pundits dissected Arnold versus Newsom like it was Ali versus Frazier. Some hailed Arnold as the truth teller. Others dismissed him as outdated. And the rest of America just wondered why California politics feels like a Netflix show that lost its writers halfway through. But beneath the memes and one-liners, Arnold struck a nerve. California's identity crisis. The state wants to be everything, the world's moral compass, the climate champion, the tech utopia, yet it can't keep gas under $7. Arnold said what everyone whispers. Maybe fix California before trying to fix the world. That's Arnold's gift. He blends truth and theater so well you can't tell if he's campaigning or just having fun taking swings. Facts fade. Charisma doesn't. And in that arena, he's still the reigning champ.
Christian, you know, you're in California. I have a lot of people here in Australia talking to me about Gavin Newsom, asking what I think about him. And I feel like this is one of those moments that's very revealing about the guy's character. I mean, if he's going to be so petty about this, you know, is everything just going to be this political fight, turning everybody into either friends or enemies?
Yeah, it's a bad look for sure. And it's something he shouldn't really be engaging with. He should just honor the ex-governor, who's obviously a huge movie star and a pop culture icon, and just leave it there. I mean, I think that's magnanimous. And I think it's what people want to see.
Somewhere under the noise, you can almost hear the sigh of Californians exhausted by plastic smiles and recycled promises. Then through the smog comes Arnold, raw, unapologetic, suddenly the unfiltered voice of the people. He says what no PR team would allow any modern politician to say. But this isn't random ranting, it's strategy. Every smirk, every headline, every perfectly timed quip is part of the Arnold Legacy Project. He reminds everyone that while today's leaders hashtag progress, the old guard actually did something, even when it was messy. And it's honestly hilarious. Two wealthy, polished men arguing over who loves California more. It's like a political beauty pageant where ego replaces talent. One has the perfect hair, the other the legendary biceps. And the irony practically winks at you. How perfect is this? The man who once pretended to save the world is now roasting a man pretending to save the state. This Hollywood politics at its finest, live, unscripted, and absolutely magnificent to watch.
Warning that it undermines the whole idea of fair elections. And when Arnold speaks, people listen. He literally said that trying to mess with this commission is dangerous for democracy. By the way, we don't live in a democracy, we live in a constitutional republic. Think about that for a second. It's not just Republicans that are criticizing this. Arnold has worked across party lines before, so if even he is against it, you know it's got to be a big deal. At the end of the day, fair maps mean fair elections, and nobody should be afraid of fairness, but I think Gavin Newsom is. That's why Arnold Schwarzenegger is calling out Gavin Newsom's plan, because once you let politicians draw their own lines, the people lose.
Arnold might not be running for office, but he's sprinting laps around today's politicians. In terms of authenticity, he doesn't need consultants or catchy slogans. He is his own brand. When he calls out Newsom, the contrast hits like a movie trailer with surround sound. Newsom talks progress. Arnold talks action. Newsom tweets, Arnold lifts. Newsom forms committees. Arnold builds gyms. One is polished, one is primal, and primal wins hearts faster. Sure, the news cycle will move on, but that image of Arnold smirking while Newsom tries to stay composed will live rent-free in the public memory. In California, every governor eventually faces the Terminator's judgment. It's like a bizarre rite of passage. And maybe that's the whole punchline. Politics has become entertainment, entertainment has become politics, and Arnold is here to remind everyone who wrote the original script. Newsom may be the sequel, but the original still owns the franchise.
But Schwarzenegger is calling out President Trump as well, saying that gerrymandering is evil, and he used the word evil no matter who does it. It's unclear how hard Schwarzenegger will fight Newsom or what form that opposition could take. A recent picture, though, posted to Instagram showed the former governor wearing a t-shirt that read, F the politicians, terminate gerrymandering. So we know where he's...
So while the headlines fade and the next shiny scandal takes over, one thing never changes. When Arnold talks, people listen. Not because he's always right, but because he's impossible to ignore. And in California, that's worth more than competence itself. Somewhere, a political strategist is crying into a kale smoothie realizing that no matter how much data you crunch, charisma still beats policy every time. Newsom might hope this moment disappears, but the internet remembers everything. That clip of Arnold calling him out is now immortal, a digital statue in the chaotic museum of California politics. Because here, explosions aren't just on movie sets. They're real, messy, and half the time wearing designer sunglasses. And just like that, Arnold Schwarzenegger is once again the most talked about man in California. No dumbbells, no campaign, no script. Just that iconic grin and a presence you simply can't scroll past.